Today we're diving into Grandma's 15 secret hacks that make life way too easy. From surprising pantry tricks to clever household solutions you'll wish you had known sooner, these timeless tips can transform your daily routine without breaking the bank. Number 1. Leftover cooking water for plants. Instead of pouring out the water you've used to boil vegetables, pasta, or rice, consider letting it cool and using it to water your garden or indoor plants. This starchy or nutrient-rich liquid can give plants a mild boost, potentially helping them grow more vigorously. Be sure the water does not contain salt, as high levels of sodium can harm roots. Some people even claim that using vegetable boiled water may reduce the need for chemical fertilizers over time. Make sure to let the water sit until it's at room temperature to avoid scorching tender plant roots. This simple habit not only helps save water, but also makes use of valuable plant nutrients that might otherwise go down the drain. Several environmentally conscious gardeners emphasize that consistent use of leftover cooking water can improve soil texture over time. To maximize benefits, strain out any large food particles before applying. Monitoring plant response for a few weeks can confirm if this method is enhancing growth. Number 2. Dish soap and toilet tank. One under-the-radar tip is to add a small squirt of biodegradable dish soap inside your toilet tank now and then. This can help maintain a fresher smell and reduce soap scum buildup in the bowl. Make sure it's a mild, eco-friendly soap that doesn't foam excessively, because too many suds might interfere with the normal flushing mechanism. This approach is especially popular among those aiming to reduce harsh chemical usage in their household. Regularly using dish soap in the tank might keep some mineral deposits at bay, but remember that routine scrubbing is still essential. As a bonus, the subtle fragrance helps neutralize odors, leaving the bathroom environment feeling cleaner without heavy chemical scents. Some homeowners even use essential oil-infused dish soap for an extra aroma boost. If your water is especially hard, pairing this technique with occasional vinegar soaks can further curb limescale buildup. Always observe the tank's mechanics to ensure you're not disrupting any crucial parts. Number 3. Soap scraps in a mesh bag. Ever wonder what to do with those leftover bits of soap bars? Rather than throwing them out, collect them in a small mesh bag or even an old nylon stocking. When you have enough scraps, use the mesh bag as a loofah in the shower or as a quick hand scrubber near the sink. The mesh creates a nice lather and helps exfoliate skin without wasting those tiny soap pieces. Another option is to dissolve the scraps in warm water, mixing until you get a liquid soap consistency. Either way, this hack reduces household waste and gets more mileage out of bar soap. It's a practical, budget-friendly trick that older generations have relied on for decades. Some people even experiment with adding a few drops of essential oils to the mixture for extra fragrance. If you prefer a solid shape, consider remolding the scraps by melting them gently and pouring into a silicone mold. This ensures a brand new bar that's a patchwork of scents from your original soap pieces. Number 4. Mayonnaise for water ring removal. If you've ever noticed those stubborn white water rings on your wooden table, mayonnaise might be your solution. By dabbing a small amount onto a soft cloth and gently rubbing it over the ring, you can often lift the moisture mark from the wood's surface. The oil in mayonnaise helps to rehydrate the finish, while the gentle texture avoids scratching. Let it sit for about an hour or so before wiping off any residue with a clean cloth. Some people even add a pinch of cigarette ash for extra abrasiveness, but that's optional and certainly not for everyone. Once the water ring fades, buff the area with a furniture polish to restore the shine. This approach works best on rings that haven't deeply penetrated the wood. Deeper damage may require professional refinishing or specialized products. Still, this old-fashioned hack proves surprisingly effective for mild surface-level blemishes. Number 5. Repurpose leftover candle wax. Don't toss out those nearly empty candles with an inch of wax left at the bottom. Carefully melt the remnants by placing the candle jar in a bowl of hot water or using a candle warmer. Pour the liquid wax into a silicone mold or an empty egg carton, then add a fresh wick if you want to create a new mini candle. Alternatively, use the wax melts in a wax warmer for a fragrant home environment. This approach saves money on buying new candles and reduces waste. Just be sure to handle hot wax with caution to avoid burns. Some people mix different scents to create a custom blend, adding an extra personal touch. If you have a variety of colored wax, layering them in a single container can produce a unique striped candle. Additionally, leftover wax can serve as a fire starter for campfires or fireplaces. Simply coat a cotton pad in melted wax and let it cool. This dual-purpose method keeps your living space cozy while staying thrifty. Number 6, apple cider vinegar in the laundry. Apple cider vinegar can do more than boost your digestive health. Adding about half a cup to the rinse cycle of your laundry can soften clothes, reduce static cling, and even help remove lingering odors. Its mild acidity helps break down residues left by detergents or fabric softeners. Though white vinegar is more commonly used, apple cider vinegar can also be effective, especially for naturally freshening bedding or workout gear. Don't worry about the smell. It usually dissipates after drying, leaving fabric soft and neutral. This is particularly helpful for people with sensitive skin who want to avoid commercial fabric conditioners. A small funnel can make measuring and pouring easier. For tough odors like sweat or pet smells, let items soak briefly in a solution of water and apple cider vinegar before the main wash cycle. You'll likely notice a fresher finish with minimal effort. Number 7, pillowcase trick for cleaning fan blades. Dusting ceiling fan blades can scatter debris all over the room. Instead, slip an old pillowcase over each blade one at a time, pressing the fabric gently against the top and bottom surfaces. As you pull the pillowcase back, it traps the dust inside, preventing it from falling onto furniture or floors. You can then shake out the pillowcase outside and toss it in the wash. This hack cuts down on airborne particles that can irritate allergies. It's one of those clever moves that seems obvious once you know it, yet many people never think of it. Combine this tip with a quick wipe of a damp cloth afterward for a truly thorough clean. If you want an extra fresh scent, spritz a little diluted essential oil on the pillowcase before using it. This gives your room a subtle fragrance while you tidy up. Number 8, leftover coffee as a hair rinse. If you have some cooled black coffee left in the pot, consider using it as a final hair rinse after shampooing and conditioning. Some claim that the caffeine and antioxidants in coffee may contribute to a smoother, shinier look, particularly for darker hair shades. Gently pour it over your scalp and massage it in, then rinse with lukewarm water after a couple of minutes. While this hack isn't extensively backed by scientific studies, anecdotal evidence points to minor improvements in hair appearance. Be mindful if you have light or color-treated hair, as coffee might alter the tint slightly. If you're a coffee aficionado, it's a fun way to repurpose leftovers that might otherwise go to waste. A few individuals also experiment by adding a hint of coconut oil to the coffee mixture to further nourish the scalp. For consistent results, incorporate this rinse just once or twice a week. Number 9, white glue for splinters. A thin layer of non-toxic white glue can help remove superficial splinters from fingers or toes. Once the glue dries, peel it off in one go, and the splinter often comes out with the dried glue layer. This trick can be less painful than using tweezers, especially for children who might be anxious about a sharp instrument. Be sure the splinter isn't too deep. If it's embedded, medical attention could be necessary. Some parents find this method helpful for small wood or plant splinters from gardening or playing outdoors. It doubles as an entertaining activity for kids who enjoy peeling off the glue. If the area looks irritated or infected, consider professional help. A quick dab of antibiotic ointment afterward can prevent any mild inflammation. It's a simple yet clever solution that families appreciate. Number 10, beeswax wraps from old cotton. If you have cotton fabric scraps or old shirts you no longer wear, you can turn them into reusable food wraps by coating them with melted beeswax. First, cut the cloth into squares of desired sizes. Then melt beeswax pellets in a double boiler or a dedicated melting pot. Use a paintbrush to apply the wax onto the fabric. Place the fabric on parchment paper and briefly heat it in the oven at low temperature to ensure an even coating. Once it cools, you'll have a pliable wrap for covering bowls or wrapping sandwiches. These wraps are breathable, yet form a seal when warmed by hand. They're also easy to clean. Just rinse with cold water and mild soap. Some crafters add pine resin or jojoba oil to increase flexibility. Over time, if the coating wears off, you can refresh it with more melted beeswax, extending the wrap's lifespan indefinitely. Number 11. Crushed eggshells for compost and pest deterrent. Though we've discussed alternative uses for eggshells before, crushing them into tiny fragments and scattering them around the base of plants can deter slugs and snails. The sharp edges irritate these pests, potentially keeping them at bay. Additionally, eggshells break down over time and enrich the soil with calcium. Gardeners who incorporate eggshells into compost piles find that it helps balance pH levels. Rinse and dry the shells before crushing to reduce any lingering odor. It's a low-cost, eco-friendly approach that aligns with frugal living. Some enthusiastic composters swear by the improved structure of their soil once eggshells are a regular addition, claiming stronger stems and healthier blooms. In addition, eggshells can act as a gentle abrasive in certain household cleaning tasks, like scrubbing stubborn residue from pots and pans. Just make sure to rinse away any shell fragments thoroughly. Number 12. Wood ash for cleaning metal objects. If you burn wood in a fireplace or fire pit, consider saving the cool ash. Mixed with a small amount of water, it forms a mildly abrasive paste that can polish tarnished metals like silver or brass. Use a soft rag or sponge to apply the paste in gentle circles, then rinse thoroughly and dry with a clean cloth. Many older homes still rely on this method for removing oxidation, as commercial metal polishes can be expensive and often contain harsh chemicals. Always wear gloves and make sure the ash is completely cool before handling. Avoid using ash from chemically treated wood, as it may contain harmful residues that could scratch or damage surfaces. You can also test a small, inconspicuous area first to ensure compatibility. Storing leftover ash in a sealed metal container is wise, as residual embers might remain hot longer than expected. Number 13. Onion for rust prevention on grills. Rubbing a halved onion over a hot grill grate can help cut through grease while leaving a slight protective residue that may slow down rust formation. The heat helps release the onion's natural fluids, which can dissolve stuck-on grime. Some people prefer this trick to chemical cleaners, as it offers a more natural approach. Use a long-handled fork or tongs to hold the onion safely without risking burns. Once you're finished, wipe the grill down with a bit of oil to lock in the cleanliness. The onion aroma usually dissipates when the grate cools, so it won't affect the flavor of your next grilling session. In addition, if you have concerns about harsh bristle brushes shedding metal wires, this onion method can serve as a safer alternative. A light coating of vegetable oil afterward provides extra rust resistance. Number 14. Ironing wax spills with a paper bag. If a candle tips over and wax soaks into your carpet or fabric, you can remove much of it by placing a paper bag over the spill and gently running a warm iron on top. The wax will liquefy and get absorbed by the paper, lifting it out of the material. Repeat with a fresh section of the bag as needed. Be cautious with heat settings. You don't want to scorch the fabric. Check that you're not transferring dyes from the bag onto light-colored surfaces. Many find this hack to be a lifesaver for holiday candle mishaps or accidental drips on upholstery. Just be patient and work in small increments, making sure you don't melt more than you can absorb. If any residue remains, a dab of isopropyl alcohol on a clean cloth can help lift the final traces. Always test a discrete area first to ensure you don't damage your fabric. Number 15. Cloth scraps as heat-proof pot holders. If you have multiple layers of cotton or denim scraps lying around, sew them together to create a thick pot holder or hot pad for your kitchen. Layering 3 or 4 pieces of sturdy fabric, such as old jeans or canvas, provides enough insulation to protect your hands or counters. You can add a loop in one corner for easy hanging. If you're feeling creative, add decorative stitches or contrasting thread. This repurposing approach aligns with sustainable living, reducing textile waste and giving new life to old clothes. Some people even incorporate leftover batting or specialized heat-reflective fabric for additional protection. With minimal sewing skills, you'll have custom pot holders that are durable, washable, and uniquely yours. For extra grip, consider applying a thin silicone bead pattern on one surface. This small addition can help prevent accidental slips when handling hot cookware.